Welcome to the LA Insider, the podcast that takes you inside the neighborhoods of Los Angeles through the voices of the people shaping them. I'm your host, Jason Anderson, a real estate agent in LA and your guide to the stories behind the city. Each week I sit down with local entrepreneurs, community leaders, and business owners to uncover what makes their corner of LA special, from hidden gems to big ideas and neighborhood-changing insights. We'll also explore the path to success that brought each of my guests to where they are today, their challenges, wins, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Whether you're exploring where to live, grow a business, or just want to understand the real LA, this show is for you. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the LA Insider. Today we're spotlighting another incredible person who's making a real impact in his industry. Let's dive into his story. Malachi Mott is a recording artist, music producer, and creative coach who supports artists in completing projects and building sustainable creative momentum. He's the creator of the Affirmation Album, the Art of Affirmation, and he was also the winner of the Skio Remix competition, among others, 1901. And he produces and releases original music and works with creatives across disciplines that help them move ideas into finished work and forward career progress. Welcome, Malachi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Malachi, I'd like to start by talking to you a little bit about your journey. What was your path as an artist? Was art something that you studied in school? Like, when did you realize that you were artistic, maybe over anything else?
Well, I played saxophone throughout grade school and I loved it. 12th grade, I think I was in the band room 4 periods out of 9. I just loved music. But because of where I was when I went to college, they told me, hey, art is not really going to be your outlet to get you to being able to pay your bills. So you should leave it behind. And I listened and I went to school for computer engineering. I think that was the best thing ever because it showed me that without art, I was miserable. I was like really depressed. So eventually I started playing saxophone again inside my college. I went to Stony Brook University. I was studying computer engineering and I started playing saxophone and it lit me up again. I was like, okay, so I'm clear that this is not just something I do. This is part of who I am. And what was great is that gave me permission when I got home to indulge in my new hobby of making beats. So I would just get on my computer and just make music all day. And I didn't feel guilty because I realized this is part of who I am and I trusted that it was going to lead to something good. And what's cool is my roommate saw me doing it and then he told his friend, then he told his friend, and next thing you know, there was people lining up to come work with me. I didn't even anticipate that. So it built community, it fulfilled my soul. And one day I just said, you know what, if I did this all day, every day, I'd be very successful versus doing computer engineering, which I enjoyed, but it didn't light me up the same way. So I dropped out of that school and I ended up going to Berklee College of Music to study music production. And that kind of solidified my path, I think.
Wow, that's a really big change to go from computer science to music and changing your school and everything. So it was very obvious that you discovered your passion.
Yeah, it was something that was without it, I was low. And then as soon as I added it was up. And then building community, I've always wanted, everyone wants to be popular. Everyone wants to be cool, but all the rappers wanted to work with me because I had quality equipment. I was the only person. And the reason I knew that I could do this, the first time I really thought I could do this, I did a theme song for a TV show at the school called Stony Brook Uncut, and they never had a theme song. So I made the beat, a bunch of rappers came in, we did it, they made me rap on it, I didn't really want to. And then they shot a music video, and that was the opening scene for the show for the next 4 years. And that was the first thing I ever completed that the world got to see. That was when I was like, okay, I could do this.
And this was while you were still a student.
Right, correct. I was there for 2 years. So the last semester is when I built that video.
Okay. And then after you graduated, where did your path go next?
So while I was at Berklee, I was working in the studios there, and my boss at the time, Joe James, shout out to Joe James, he was like, hey, for spring break, I'm going to go to LA. And anyone want to come with me? I could show you the studios. I can introduce you to people. I said, absolutely. I sold a few things, bought a ticket, came out, and I ended up getting a job at Interscope Records. So I was like, all right, clearly I'm going to come out. It's my favorite record label. I'm going to come out and work here. I thought maybe I'd do 2 or 3 years and then go back to New York and be bi-coastal. I ended up falling in love with LA, like I really did. So I love it here. So that brought me out here.
And what led you to maybe going the direction of supporting other artists rather than being the main artist?
Yeah, I just liked making the music. So I never had a dream of being on stage and all of that stuff. So that already was like, how can I just make the music? And you can't just make music and have a job. There's no jobs. Like if you go to LinkedIn right now, you can't find anybody that's willing to pay me to do what I do. They only want people who are the person on the stage. It's very interesting how that works. And because of that, everybody I went to school with who was studying to make the music, whether it's write the lyrics or play the instruments, they're all struggling to make music just like I was. So at Interscope, the idea was, you get people food, you move furniture, you clean the studios, and eventually you'll meet someone that likes you enough to take you with them. And that's how you can actually do your job and get paid for it. That's the goal. But I only saw that happen to one person.
Wow.
The whole time I would think I worked there 6 years. And I think I decided to help people because I had 3 coworkers at that job who teamed up with someone from the label, and they created a group, and they ended up getting a placement on Wale's first album. And I was like, finally, one of us is going to like actually blow up. And I just saw, even though it was Wale's favorite song, the label wasn't trying to push them forward because they were just the guys that were at the studio. And they didn't see us the same way they saw the other producers, I guess, because we didn't have past successes. So that was the last straw for me of like, okay, we are going to have to do this together because we can't go through this path. And once that group disbanded and one of them ended up getting a job selling cell phones, he said, I was thinking he could have been selling cell phones this whole time. He didn't have to do this grunt work to get a job he could have had before.
Yeah.
And it hit me like, these are people that need help, myself included. So maybe if I help others, I can find the answers and help myself. So I think that's kind of when I got the idea.
Sure. And then besides being a creative coach and producer, you've also got your album.
Yes. So
How did that go about?
okay, so this is an interesting one. I write a lot of songs that I don't share with the public because I just like writing songs. Sometimes I do it when I have the job where I go into juvenile detention centers and I help them, teach them how to make music. But they only talk about very dark topics like murder and things like that. So my spirit doesn't like that. So when I come home to wash my spirit, I have to write a positive song. So the last track on that album I wrote is called Life is Really Great. I wrote that one and I wasn't going to put it out. I just wrote it for me. And my sister calls and she is now living in Houston and she wasn't doing very well. She's going through it as she finally is like torn away from our parents and figuring out her life. And I said, look, I don't know how to help, but if you have any questions or you want to talk, I'm here. And I have this song I just wrote that makes me feel better. Maybe it'll help you. 2 weeks later, I see she's got this giant check on her Instagram. And I'm like, what is this? What's going on? She said, well, I listened to that song and it shifted my mood and it put me in go, go, go mode. And I started going online and looking for grants for my business. And now my business is thriving. And I was like, wait, what?
The power of music.
Yeah. What? The power of music?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly did not anticipate that. I did not do it on purpose. And I went, wait a minute, maybe I can make more of these. So I ended up making a few and playing them for friends. And the way that they lit up made me feel confident that this is something that people might like. So it's great now that it's out. I see a lot of people listening to it. I have 6 people, according to Spotify Wrapped, that my album is in their top 10 albums that they've listened to last year. And I was like, how is that possible? It came out in October. So I'm very, very grateful that is resonating with people. One friend of mine said her kids love it, so she just puts it on and walks away and lets it just play. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like the best feeling you could have as a creator, I think.
And was it was a little bit different than you set out to create an album. It's almost like you just created all of these great songs and then decided to put all of that work together into an album. Is that kind of how it came together?
Okay, good question. I had the first and last song on the album I had first. And those songs I made the affirmation part came because I'm singing "Life is Really Great" in the hook. And I went, okay, that's kind of like an affirmation. And I prescribe affirmations to people all the time. And the amount of people that actually take me up on it, I would say it's maybe 15, 20% that actually go and try it. And I was like, how can I get that number to maybe 40, 50? And I said, if I just make it a song and the hook is just an affirmation, that probably would work better. So that's kind of where the idea came from. I had the first two songs. The middle songs, I made all of those at the same time. So those were an album. And you'll hear they have like a formula that the outside two don't have. But I put it all together and I'm like, great, now that I have this idea, how can I make it fun for people to discover affirmations and then potentially go after my album looking for more affirmations other than mine? I just want people to lift themselves up.
And then just thinking about the record industry. So are you self-published or do you have to use your connections to get a label?
Yeah, so I don't really do the label thing. It's kind of like if you work at McDonald's, you probably aren't going to eat at McDonald's after you leave. After seeing behind the curtain, I was like, okay, I see where the money goes. It doesn't go to the people making the music. And there's a lot of things that they put you in a box they don't let you do. I'm very creative, not just with the music, but also with how I present it to people. And I can't really sacrifice, like if the intention is to lift people up with positive affirmations, the A&R may tell me, hey, put something like, yeah, shoot him, or something like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And the next thing you know, I'm on the back burner. So I can't afford that space. So I avoid them altogether. I have signed some songs to labels online, and I regret it every single time. It always seems like a good idea, but they always end up doing something that actually hurts my brand. And it's just like, man, I don't make as much money. It's wild. So every album I do, I try to take all the things I've learned about how I can get it to people, put that into play, and then I experiment with one new thing. And whatever works mathematically, I make a system and I make sure the next album gets the same treatment.
Okay. Are you already thinking about your next one?
I'm already making it. Yes. The next one. All right. I'll announce it and say what it is. It's called The Art of Empowerment.
Oh,
So I figured I'd stick with that concept. If everybody really liked the affirmations, how do I take it to the next level? And the titles of each song are concepts of things that I know people need and they won't think about and they won't get. So these are very intentional. And then I create songs around them to kind of explain what the title means, but I do it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm teaching.
So you've made some really bold moves, right? You've become an entrepreneur. You've, put yourself out there to create your own album, put your own album out. Was there anybody growing up who inspired you to have the confidence to do these kinds of things?
No, no, I actually didn't know I was going to be an entrepreneur. Didn't know that I was going to move into this space. But once I did, then those people started showing up. Like I have an uncle who's an entrepreneur. My dad actually worked for him. I didn't know that. I thought they worked together. But now that I'm talking to him, I'm like, oh, okay, there was a wealth of knowledge there that he didn't know that I would want, and I didn't know that I could ask for. So now every time I call him, he just gives me nuggets like nonstop. So he's one of my biggest inspirations. He has a body shop, fixes cars.
Okay.
And not related to music at all, you would think, right? But he said that especially being one of the first Black people in his area to be able to do that, it was very hard for him to find a niche. So he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell everyone, look, I may not be the cheapest, but I promise you, you come to my body shop, your car will leave better than you bought it. And I went, wow, that's bold. So then I started saying that exact same thing, but with the song. Like, you come to me, your song will be better than you even heard it in your head. something like that. And it worked. And people just said, hey, you know what? He's right. Like he really dots the I's, crosses the T's. And I just stood on that my whole career. And I've always had work.
Awesome. And can you give us some examples of maybe affirmations that you've used in the past that works well for you?
Ooh. I mean, I could think of the ones from the album, but
or maybe ones that inspired the album?
Oh, you mean like an actual one that you can find?
Oh, no.
Or just like actual sentences?
Yeah. Like what kind of things do you tell yourself to kind of get yourself to the next level?
Okay. So there's one that I found, well, I didn't find, a friend of mine made and put on Insight Timer. It's called The Gift. And that one has the best ones. It's all about like, I believe in myself. I have abundance, I think the abundance one is one that for me, I needed because I didn't realize how much I was in scarcity mode. Like thinking life was lucky. Like if I didn't have luck, I wouldn't have things coming my way. But really, I have an abundance of family, abundance of friends, abundance of love, abundance of opportunity, abundance of discipline. So once you start looking at the abundance, then everything that you felt was lacking starts to become abundance as well to catch up. So I would say that's probably the most empowering one for me. Also, gratitude. Any time you say, I am grateful for, the universe gives you more things to be grateful for. So I love affirmations that have gratitude in them. So like in my album, I have one called My Friends Are Awesome. And that's one of the first ones I made when I was actually doing it because I was thinking about the friends that inspired me to make the album. So literally everything I say in the album is specifically for the people that I was with when I played those first few songs. And just because they inspired me to write it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Abundance, gratitude, those are all super important to keeping yourself moving forward.
Yep. And so, yeah, good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, where can people get your album?
Oh, it's every platform that you can imagine. We got it on Apple Music, Spotify. Yeah.
Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon. I'm pretty sure I literally make sure I clicked everything before I released it. YouTube, it's literally everywhere. It's called Art of Affirmation. There's 9 songs on it. And find 1 or 2 that you like and sing them as you're driving on your commute. I promise it'll lift you up.
Do any of them have videos like on YouTube as well?
I made visualizers, but because of the way I released it, no. I think they just put a logo.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this on YouTube too. Well, I'm looking forward to getting a copy of that because it sounds very inspirational and I'm all about positivity and having a good mindset. So I'm really interested to hear that.
Sweet. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah.
Or I'd love to hear which one is your favorite.
Okay. I'll definitely make sure I'll comment that on the YouTube post, which is my favorite song on the album.
Okay. Perfect.
Cool. And as I like to tie up anytime that I have people on, we like to talk about their Los Angeles neighborhood because part of the thing for this channel is people coming here to find out about different neighborhoods in Los Angeles from people who actually live there. And I understand you moved recently, so you probably did some searching and thinking about where you ended up. So I'd love to hear about your journey and what part of town you ended up living in.
Yes. So I'm currently in Northridge. This is the first time I've lived up here. I moved for the community. I'm in a community house with 5 other people, but it's beautiful. It's quiet. I say that as I don't know if you can hear the background. There's a emergency vehicle driving by, but no, it's relatively quiet. I love how friendly everyone is. Most places in LA, when you move there, you kind of try to meet your neighbors and it's hit or miss, but here it seems pretty consistent. People that I see, they're pretty happy. We have chickens. That's pretty fun. I don't know many places you can do that. We have a pool. I'm close to everything that I possibly need. There's 2 or 3 different Trader Joe's, and that's where I eat every time. So these are the things I didn't know were important to me, but as I moved throughout LA, I started making a list. I was like, I really do need this. I really do need this. So that helped.
Is Costco on your list?
I should be a Costco person. I have not been to Costco in a very long time. But wait, is there a Costco over here?
Probably there is.
All right, I'll look it up. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe that's my calling for 2026. I got to get a new Costco membership.
Yeah. I mean, it's because Costco's so much more than just groceries because they've got like travel and gas and tires and things like that.
Yeah, they have literally everything. I
Yeah.
used to sell Vitamix blenders inside
Uh,
of Costco.
oh, okay. So you're
So
familiar.
yeah, I mean, I lived there. I was in it from before they opened to after they closed, 20 days a month for a year and a half. So I do miss it. Costco is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, Malachi, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm really excited to hear your album. I think that just the whole theme of it being positive and affirmations and gratitude is very appealing to me. And to those of you watching, thank you for joining us today and listening to his story. If you love the conversation and want more insider looks at the people shaping Los Angeles, please like and subscribe, leave a review, listen to Malachi's album, comment below your favorite song on there. We'd love to hear, which ones resonated with you the most. And I'm Jason, and I'll see you next time on the LA Insider.
Thank you for tuning in to the LA Insider. I hope today's conversation gave you a deeper look into the people and neighborhoods that make Los Angeles so dynamic. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves LA just as much as you do. I'm Jason, and I'll be back next week with another inspiring guest and more stories from the heart of the city. Until then, stay curious, stay connected, and keep exploring LA.